What's up, everybody? Welcome to What's the Rub podcast. I am Charles Gordon, one of your hosts, co-host Dave White, and we have Craig from Royal Oak Charcoal with us today. What's up, Craig?
Man, what's up, guys? It's always a pleasure to come on the show and chat with y'all, man. It's always
We
always fun.
appreciate you making the time for us, jumping on here for sure.
BBQ Ninja is never a bad show, brother. I know that.
That's right.
Well, keep it interesting, that's for sure. I move and shake pretty much all year long. Well, I do take a little break, but I do keep it interesting for sure.
Yeah. What you take hunting season off?
Yeah, hunt camp.
Yeah. I escaped to the woods the month of December and most of January, and then start hitting the road. Matter of fact, hit the road this week.
Gotcha. Where you off to?
Heading to the Houston Livestock and Rodeo.
Big one.
Yeah, I tell you, it really is. It's one that I went to probably, gosh, I guess it's been 7 years. This will be 7 years, and thought I'd seen them all. I thought, over the years, I figured, hey, it's just going to be another barbecue festival. And when they say they do it bigger in Texas,
Right.
They do. They do. This one is massive. It's on the grounds of NRG Stadium, and these booths there are huge. They put up circus tents. I mean, and they have bands and food and drink and it's a lot of people and a lot of fun.
Remember, didn't you tell me a story that these spots are like willed down the line, down the bloodline? Like these Texas families like leave their booth space in the will, like pass it down to their
Right.
kids. That's how exclusive it is. You can't just go to this thing.
Right. It's not like your normal one. Like you would say, okay, let's do the Houston Livestock and Rodeo this year and go. You can't do that, and it's a waiting list, and they say it takes up to 5 to 10 years on the waiting list to get a spot there. And matter of fact, the team I cook with, the Brew Crew cookers, they're the guys that are running it now are the sons of the guys that originally had it probably, I don't know, 30 to 40 years ago. And
that's the super team you got. Isn't it like Limp Brisket and is that Hat Creek or who all's part of that?
Over the years, kind of how it all started out. I first started cooking in the international section. This particular festival has a section that they bring teams from all over the world there to cook in this one section, which is super, super cool, because when I was doing that for the first, I don't know, 2-3 years when I went, I got to meet barbecue cooks from all over the world, and a lot of those cooks I still keep up with through social media, and I'll get random direct messages from them. Hey, what's going on, and some, and since then too, they've come over here and visited for other events that I've been able to catch up to them to also, and they also have a Champions Row, which teams can qualify for Champions Row if they win certain other events, the Jack, American Royal, I think maybe San Antonio also, and so there's a Champions Row for that, and then you have the other teams that are traditionally there every year. And but I first started coming there in the international section, and the guys I'm with now I met and through a mutual friend, and so the team I was cooking with in the international section quit coming, so I went and started cooking with this team, and we're now kind of a team with Royal Oak cooks on it, like you said, Limp Brisket, and we got JDQ and Cody Alabar. He's not with Royal Oak, but he's one of the cooks there also, and
man.
and Tommy Martin is the rib cook, and so everybody's kind of divided out. Cody does the chicken, and James and Erica do the brisket, and so we've got we've got a team of some really, really good cooks.
That's
Nice,
awesome, man.
man.
I hear stories every year about that event. It makes me want to go see it
Yeah.
at least once. You know,
What's the format like of that thing? Is it like a KCBS or is it more like MBN style? I know, and there's some like on-site judging or.
No, I tell you, it's really no on site.
Huh.
The Houston Livestock Rodeo actually has their own rules, has their own sanctioning body, and you cook those three proteins that I mentioned. You cook rib, you cook half chicken, and you cook also the brisket. And they have a tagging system there, which is very interesting. They come on site and they have like this metal tag that you have to tag your meat on, and they have someone that's assigned to your team that's there to witness you tagging that piece of meat in the raw stage.
That's
And
cool.
then and then you have a time that a window that you have to take that particular protein off to box, and they actually come on site and they witness you take that protein off, and they
Wow.
actually witness you the boxing of that protein, and walking it to the judges. So it's massive in the amount of volunteers they have that work this thing. Of course, it ultimately is it's a charity event. I mean, they raise money for scholarships there in Texas, and they have different committees that do fundraisers that raise money for this particular scholarship fund, and so it does have that back part where it is doing a lot of good things. So.
that's awesome.
Nice.
Was the event? And you may or may not know this. Was it originally kind of built around that charitable aspect, or was that something that just got added? Because I know, like Smoking for Garrett, it was a big event in this area for a very long time, and it was always meant to be
Charity
yeah,
thing,
it's a charity thing. I think they do a
Memoriam.
scholarship.
Yeah.
A scholarship for her son that had passed away.
That's a good question. As far as I know, and as far as I'm aware, it's been tied into that fund from the very beginning. So
I think a lot of these
uh,
events like that get their start that way from a community or charitable aspect, something, and then it just grows into something over time.
I mean, overall, it sounds like Texas. I mean, that lineup, that is for sure the half chickens, like you see
Right.
it. Like we know, we always see the
mhm.
Bill Purvis tiger stripes will probably be in effect down that way. I've seen a lot of that on that half chicken.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I
Yeah.
really dig it. And I've seen kind of the layout of it, and it is massive. I mean, I bet walking around that thing is just a sight to see.
It really is. Just because of the site that we cook at, the Brew Crew Cookers, is a I guess you'd say it's a single site, and there are places that are up to 4 times, I guess, a site put together, and then that's when you see the like holy cow cookers. I mean, that they're massive, they're huge, and I
Yeah.
mean it's so you got a little everything, and I mean for us being one of those smaller teams and having the success that we've had, we've finaled in rib the last 3 straight years.
I remember that.
Yeah, I think I guess this is the only team that maybe have finaled the same category for 3 straight years in the history of the event, which is pretty impressive. And then last year we double final. We final rib and dessert, or which Bobby Oliver was there, and Tommy Martin, he finaled in the rib, and then the year before we finaled rib and brisket. And so that was a double final, and then final rib the year before. So,
No pressure this year.
no pressure this year, but it's one of those. It's a great time, and all of us getting together. We have a blast, and each night is kind of a different theme. I think the first night, I may get this wrong, but it's steak night, where we grill a bunch of steaks over open fire, and of course you got sponsors and the people that come in that eat and drink, and then the next night is we do a fish fry on Friday night, and then Saturday I couple of alligators, and I cook a whole hog, and that's our Saturday evening dinner. So it's kind of a different theme each night, and but that's to feed the sponsors and the people that have tickets, and it's just not one you actually have to have a ticket to walk in the main gate.
Right.
But then if you get in the main gate, you got to have tickets to the individual booths, and a lot of times that's your sponsors and all that. So it's a little different setup than just coming to a barbecue festival and walking around, and if you know somebody, you walk in the booth or that kind of deal. It's set up a little different.
From the organizer side of that, I mean, Craig, you've done big shows, organized big shows, and me and Charles do a lot around here in Indiana. Could you imagine the behind the scenes manpower and just the in and outs?
Takes an army.
My God.
Yeah,
event like that, hearing the names that you're talking about on your team as being a small team at this event, that tells you everything you need to know about what's going on down there.
Right.
Yeah, the logistics and the infrastructure of that place. I mean, they've started building things there this past weekend. It'll take 4 or 5 days to put tents up, and it's not all just tents. Some have structures they actually build. I mean, you'll go there and it'll look like one place will look like a huge barn. I mean, literally walls, and it'll be wood. It's just it's a sight to see for sure. And it's one of those, like you said, you think you've seen them all, and then you see this one, and you're like, I haven't seen anything like this before.
So, do they do like booth judging and stuff like they do at some of the other events too for the setup, or is it just
where it's like they're judging how your booth looks kind of deal?
I think they have. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. I think it may be a booth party kind of combination thing, but it is it's a lot of fun. And weather, you never know what you're going to get in February either. It looks like it's going to be, I'm knocking on wood here, you probably hear it, but this year it looks like 75, sunny, low mid 70s, no rain, which, that, as very well in an outdoor event and festival is the key. So
Texas weather hasn't been exactly predictable the last couple months either. So
Yeah, there's been cold fronts coming. I know, gosh, I'm this year, it'll be 3 years ago, I think, either 2 or 3 years ago, it was like mid 50s and wind was blowing 20, 30 miles an hour. And it was like a mist and rain for 3 days. And it was just miserable weather. Yeah. And
it's 50 up here today, and it's like a heat wave, bro. It's hard to, I got to take myself to another place to do that. But I can understand how that's still in Texas, man.
Yeah.
It's like warm.
Well, they say you go out to Nevada, they always call it a dry heat. In Texas, it's a dry cold.
Yeah. Right. Big wind, not much cover out there. Yeah.
Well, with here, I get the humidity living in Mississippi, so nothing's dry. Everything is a wet heat. It's humidity, but it looks like the weather's starting to change, and the events are about to start happening, and it's time to hit the road, and it's time to get to grilling for sure and cooking.
Outside of Houston, what are you excited about? What's going on for you this year? What's some big events that maybe you got any first time stuff or just stuff you're excited to get back to?
Well, maybe coming to Minnesota for the first time. So, that just happened this past weekend in Minnesota. But come see you guys in Indiana is something I put on the calendar for the first time. I need to, especially when it starts, hitting 100 and the heat index starts getting to be about 115 down here. I like to go north. I like to go out west. I like to.
I'll tell you, man, careful what you ask for. The bad part about here, especially in July, is, I got family in Panola County up there, Batesville area in Mississippi. And I go down there and it's humid. But the problem here is these hills and stuff, the air doesn't move. So the air just gets so still. It's like there's no breeze. You can't they just suffocate you. I don't want to scare you off, but I'm just saying.
They'll get you a plane.
It ain't going to be too much better.
May get my plane ticket last minute, but
Minnesota, that'll be blast. I hope you have time to fish and stuff up there too and have some fun.
Well, I traditionally have a lot of the same events I do. Hogs for the Cause in New Orleans will be the end of March, 1st of April, and it's raises money for pediatric brain cancer. And this will probably be either my probably 11th year or something like that. We actually cooked in that event like the second year, and it like made 20, 30,000 dollars, and now it's raising up to 2.5, $3 million, and to see an event like that grow, and the people in New Orleans really buy into it. But it also, the barbecue community has caught word, and there's been several teams that have thrown their hat in that ring, and really started raising money, because if you win it all, you basically it's you just win bragging rights. You don't win anything because everything raises money for the kids. That's always a great one. And New York will be Chef Jeff Menschner event that the guys up there at Pig Beach put on, and that'll be the end of April, and that's always a great event, near and dear to my heart too. Jeff Menschner was a great friend of mine that passed away some 5-6 years ago. So that'll be a fun one. You roll into Memphis in May, that's always huge.
Doing the Windy City Smokeout. You going to Chicago?
That'll be in July.
Okay.
And that's a fun one. Now, actually, the event that does that one is going to do a new one this year in Dallas called the Lone Star Smokeout. And gosh, I wish I had my calendar in front of me. But it is because that's a stretch where I'll be doing like 5 events in 5 straight weeks. It's going to be like, I don't have the date exactly in front of me, but go look up Lone Star Smokeout. Anybody out there that wants to see the date that's around the Dallas area, it'll be country music, it'll be barbecue, it'll be a good time. And Royal Oak is the charcoal sponsor of that event. So I'll be there, cooking and promoting.
It looks like May 2nd through 4th.
Yeah, that's right.
Arlington, Texas.
That's it. I think it'll be at the Jerry Dome there.
Yeah.
So,
good, man.
The Windy City Smokeout's one of those too that I've been involved with for a long time. I mean, it was the first time I ever cooked it. I went and cooked it alongside of Pappy Smokehouse and helped those guys. They're all super great friends of mine, and it was in the parking lot of the Chicago Tribune, and it's like a two big parking lots right next to each other. Well, the year I went, the first, it was actually the second year of the event. It was in one parking lot, and it was a Friday night and Saturday night, and that was it. And probably a few thousand people. And that event now is a Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night in the parking lot of the what's the stadium there? Chicago Bulls. Anyway, it's in the parking lot of that stadium, and it's about 25,000 people a day that come through there. So
that's a big lot.
It's a huge. Of course, those people, they put on a wonderful event, and everybody wants to be a part of it and come out to it. So it's a lot of fun.
That's cool, man. That's cool to kind of see what you got on the lineup. What's new with Royal Oak this year? I know you guys have had some new products come out.
We have. We're excited, man. It's exciting to be a part of an organization that keeps wanting to go forward, wants to keep doing things better and keep being innovative, and just it's really exciting. We got 2 new products on the market this year. One is our charcoal pellet that's in a mixed bag with a hickory pellet. And for so many years when we came out with that charcoal pellet, it's done so well, and it's such a great product by itself. But we also noticed that a lot of people started mixing it, and I do that myself from time to time, with a wood pellet, and just to get a little more smoke, just to get a little more of that flavor. And so we just, instead of having to go buy 2 products, we decided to put both of them in the bag, and you get the 2 for 1, and I have to go get 2.
That balance, be a great blend. Because I mean, dude, that's like me coming up. It was always lump charcoal and hickory log. hickory sticks. So that's
for our area, especially
yeah.
that hickory.
That's peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
As far as barbecue goes,
Right.
them two go together great. So
Well, and that, Dave, that's a good segue to the second new product we have this year, and that we've mixed our supersized briquette with hickory pellets infused into the briquette.
I'm really excited.
And yeah, so there again, it's a 2-for-1 product. And if you have the briquette, you don't have to have oh, do I have any wood chunks? Do I have any wood chips? It's all in there together. And it's actually a product that was around years and years ago that we used, Ubon's Barbecue, that we used to use, and it was a little ahead of its time. And it was a time where pellets were expensive because they were really new and they weren't as plentiful as they are now. And, that product did real well years and years ago, but it just wasn't cost effective because of the cost of pellets. But now it's changed around. There's, such a plentiful supply of pellets. That's a mouthful there. And so, we can make them a lot more cost effective, and so we brought it back, and there again, you get that hickory flavor in that briquette, and it's all
gravity smoker. Loading a gravity smoker, that'd be awesome for that without having to put chunks or splits, and even the drum smokers, man, you are really solving that problem there and getting that balance you're looking for. It's going to be a home run. I have a feeling.
Yeah. And and also the quality of that supersized briquette. You burn it, and it's been a wonderful selling product for us, just because we really concentrated on it being a quality product too. So
on that, that supersized briquette like that, one of the things that I noticed right off the bat, because I use drums when I do competitions, and I was historically always a Royal Oak lump, and throwing some wood chunks in there. The benefit to the lump versus going to a briquette historically has been that you get that hotter burn a little bit with the lump because of the raw edges, right? But it's not as consistent, especially on temperature.
Yeah.
And those extra large briquettes, man,
they just coast.
It is so consistent and repeatable every single time. Which when you're doing competition stuff, that's what we're after.
I think Craig, I've heard you say this. I like to start with the lump on the top and then have it coast into those briquettes, especially.
Right. You beat me to it, Dave.
Yeah, man. Right.
That's what I do. I do the lump on the top and let it, catch and get going and kind of get that sear kind of part there in the beginning. And then once it settles down into the briquette, you get that long, consistent, finish and burn.
Which for me, man, I can appreciate that as much or more than most, because I don't run gauges on my smokers anymore because I was always chasing that gauge, right? So it's a feel thing now, but with those briquettes like that, I know that once it gets that cruising altitude,
steady as she goes.
Yeah, man, I don't have to touch it. I don't have to adjust anything until we're getting to the bottom of that basket. So I can certainly
long
appreciate
burns.
It takes a lot of anxiety off of me knowing that that's in there.
A lot of guys talk about that, that they worry about how long of a burn they can get out of their basket in their drum smoker. And I'm telling you, man, I'm getting 6 hours easy out of them and beyond that. I mean, 6 is about all I need. That's the longest part of my cook, but no problems. And those, like I said, them lump, they just, or not the lump, the briquettes. They burn good, long, and steady. So with the hickory, I mean, if you couldn't have made it any better, you just did. So
do you all have any plans for additional flavors?
We're always in the research and development. And a matter of fact, about 3 weeks, I'll go to the home office and we do a innovation meeting where we sit down and we actually bring in ideas and different things like you're talking about, different flavors, different mixtures, and just kind of go through it. And we put it all down, and of course, we also go through, what would make sense, cost wise, logistics wise, shipping wise, and being able to make it efficiently. So, there's always plans for more. It's kind of, one of those things you don't want to, my boss, he would quote me, and I quote this all the time. I'd rather do one or two things really, really good than do five things okay. So, it's one of those, let's get these products to the market. Let's get a foothold on the market. Let's get them rolling. And once that happens, then, we'll definitely probably branch out from there, I'm sure.
It shows outside of just charcoal, obviously best fuel in the game. I mean, if you look up and down the roster of people that want to be affiliated with the brand, that's all you need to know. That Charcoal of Champions ain't just a selling point. Right. That's a fact.
Right.
But the other products like the tumbleweeds, I haven't seen anybody didn't like the tumbleweeds, and that flame saber and that tumbleweed combo, buddy, that's an investment that you will never regret.
Without question. Yeah, and that's one of the things I can appreciate about Royal Oak is that, I mean, you all built out your base product, right? And you put out the best product you possibly could and let that stand alone for a long time, right? Like, I mean, that built the brand. And a lot of times you see, these businesses that rush to market, they want to be the first ones. And that is one of the things that I can appreciate about you all at Royal Oak is you take your time, you do it right. I haven't had a product from Royal Oak that I didn't like ever, and that's one of the things. It's again, we go back to the consistency. It's just, I always know what I'm getting when I buy that product.
I'm going to tell you the God's truth. I can run just Royal Oak. I don't need wood. And that's how I run on the competition. I for the last at least 3 years, have had no wood in my program outside of the lump charcoal. And buddy, I get the flavor that I need. And the scores have proven it time over.
Right.
You can run just Royal Oak charcoal, and I can promise you that you'll get calls. So,
well, there's a lot of people doing that same thing, Dave. So it is producing, and we're, it's out there. You talked about it before we got on here. The shipping is out. Our sponsor team program, we announced our teams, and it's got that shipping going. So a lot of excitement with it. We got a new influencer program this year. So we started out with a small number of influencer teams or people, personalities that have good followings in the social media arena, and so we're wanting to constantly do different things there also, and we have our ambassador program that's rock solid. It's been doing very well, and we've affiliated with some really good names in barbecue, some very well respected names in barbecue, and we're venturing into the high school arena this year too. So we're gonna be looking at sponsoring some high school teams, and really we want to show this younger generation the importance of charcoal and also even pellets and the product they can get with that, and managing a fire and not just flipping the switch and setting a dial, and so there's a little bit of a gap in the generation. We've kind of got a generation there that it is a pellet and a griddle generation, which is fine. I mean, as long as they're cooking, I'm good with it. As long as you're putting food on your family's table, I'm good with it. But we do want people to gravitate back to the charcoal.
Excited to hear it.
Managing a fire, so that's why we're reaching back into the high school ranks with the kids.
Yeah. We got a local guy that has he followed that. I know that program kind of launched out of a couple guys in Texas, and they started up the high school stuff. I actually had my butt beat pretty good by one of them high school teams one time. I'm joking. They was ready. But Kyle, locally, over at Edgewood, he's done that, and he's fostering that in our area, trying to get like FFA club type things together. Right. And so that's exciting. That's really exciting to hear. I love it that you guys do that. For me, being a part of the Royal Oak family, you're talking about ambassadors and influencers and what they are to the industry. But I'll tell you what, some of the greatest friends in this industry that I've met from state to state to state. I feel pretty good about breakdowns in any state, anywhere, because that family spans the country, and it's not just people out there for themselves. I mean, that is the best network of people that you could ask to be a part of.
Right.
And that's no smoke. That's the truth. And so I appreciate that, you fostering that, and everybody that stands behind it. 100%.
For sure.
Well, I appreciate that too, and that's very important to me, and of course near and dear to what I do, because when I came on with Royal Oak, it was, my job to build the Royal Oak brand, and like anything, you want to do it, with the right people. If you get the right people, then it gets done the right way, and so a lot of times, we'll get people that are like, hey, I cook, 30 events, I win, I do this, I do that, but that's all great and everything, but at the end of the day, are you going to mesh with all the rest of the Royal Oak family, and that's very important, and how you're perceived amongst your peers is very important. And so anyway, yeah, we stress the barbecue family, the Royal Oak family, and it is that, and it's very important that everybody, when you see another Royal Oak cook, you can go and sit down with them and have a drink and talk about their family and talk about cooking and just good times.
And a lot of them got great products. I mean, they got great products from top
there's
to
no
bottom. That, we're running with LC this year. We were talking about that earlier. It's exciting for us.
Yeah,
it's that.
And seeing them be successful is what I get out of barbecue now. I mean, I've been doing it for so long, and walking the stage is good and fine and everything, but seeing one of my teams do that's what it's all about for me, and that's my happiness and satisfaction in it. And promoting, we call our sponsorship a partnership, being able to promote people's products out there. We've got, everything from, Malcolm Reed to Heath Riles to LC to Chicken Fried to, I mean, I could go on, JDQ and Burnt Finger Barbecue and
it's a list,
the
bro.
Big Beach guys. It just goes on and on and on. And we just signed Deuce Raymond, with Sweet Baby Ray's catering and Deuce's Wild Products, and I'm just sitting here like, I know I'm missing some folks, but and I am, but there's just so many to name, but they all have just wonderful products, and we try to promote those on our social media. We stress, if you're going to do a recipe video or you're going to do something, put your product in there, mention your product. We want to push it out on our social media. We want to help you, be successful in your sales and what you do. So, because ultimately their success, the more they're successful, the more our brand's successful, and we do it together. So.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things, Royal Oak has always promoted that family atmosphere, that family culture, even with your campus down there and the employees there. But, everything you see on social media, it's always co-branding. It's always, promoting everything together. So, I mean, that is barbecue at the end of the day. It was born out of community, and that is definitely something that you all have done right. And,
that family value is crystal clear from the outside looking in, I think. So good job.
Without question.
And the invitational is something that, is kind of the cherry on the top of the barbecue year, and it shows our appreciation to our teams and the hard work they put in all year long, and also it shows appreciation to our employees. We bring our teams on campus, and our employees get to eat their food, and they get to interact with them, and that means a lot to them. It kind of puts their everyday job, maybe sitting in that office, in perspective when they go out there and they see the charcoal burning, or they see the food that's produced by that product that they work so hard to
You did the tasting last year where they got to actually go out and eat it. So, not only they get to see it last year, they got to get some steak out of that thing.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. We enjoyed doing the People's Choice, which the employees and their families got to go out into the parking lot and go to each team and sample, a dish that each team cooked and got to vote on the People's Choice. It was. And then we had a judging part of the People's Choice, so we kind of did it both ways, both an official KCBS judging and then championed by the people. So
talking to the staff, man, they were like some swollen ticks out there, buddy. I mean, was like 30 teams, and you're getting to try something from everybody. And I had guys coming up at the end because we were kind of up on the top tier, and by the time they got to us, they were like, "Man, I want to eat this, but I just don't know if I can take another bite." So.
Yeah, we may rethink our dinner afterwards. I think we had a lot left over because everybody was so full after they went and ate in the parking lot. We may scale back on that a little bit, but
the teams brought it from it was a bite of steak went to a pretty good little dish at most booths there.
Right.
So it was pretty fun, man.
And that's something we're trying to do too. We're trying to make it different and trying to keep it just something that's fun and not get stagnant with it and say, okay, we did this and we do this every year. And we just want to encourage also, our employees to get out in that parking lot and meet these people and let the personalities and the cooking style shine of our teams. And it worked well. We were real happy with how that went. And I'm sure we'll do it again, kind of in the same format. We'll tweak a few things. We figured out one or two things we do a little bit differently, but overall that was a good format for us.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, man, I know you're on a schedule. We were a little late jumping on here, so we apologize for the time crunch. Anything else that you want to touch on before we let you go?
Man, you can find my social media at the BBQ Ninja on Instagram. You can find it on TikTok. You can find it on Facebook. So go give me a follow. There'll be some good things coming along. Go follow Royal Oak Charcoal. You'll be able to see what these teams do and how hard they work and keep up with what we do on a daily basis. And if you got any questions about our product or anything, go to royaloak.com. We have our products on there. We have buy now buttons. So if you want to take a look and see where they are, you can go there, hit the buy now button, put your address in there. It'll show what stores you have close to has products in stock. So go check that out.
That's a great feature. And I'm telling you, and if you're having any troubles getting calls and you ain't using the right fuel, might be a good time to reach out.
And even if you're not in competition barbecue, following their page, there's always recipe videos. There's people out there doing stuff that, so if you're just looking to level up your backyard game, even, it's a great place to go and get some ideas, get some inspiration.
You got a good YouTube page too. So go subscribe to YouTube, all that. There's a ton of resources.
Well, in marketing, at the end of the day, what we want to do is reach that backyard griller, and we want them to know that they can also, and one of our sayings is bring the pitmaster out in you. And that's what we try to do, with our marketing and what we do. We want to bring the pitmaster out in everyone. And that's a good resource. Like you said, our website, our YouTube page, any of our social media, go on there, because I tell you, you can do exactly what these guys that are winning these competitions do. Just they're showing you. Just go do it.
Yeah. Out there.
Man, I appreciate you jumping on here. We appreciate your time as always. We know you're super busy. We definitely appreciate knowing that you still make some time for us little guys.
We could do this for 2 hours. We could sit here and talk for 2 hours, but you wouldn't get nothing.
We could. It's always fun, and I enjoy getting to visit with you guys, and hopefully I'll get to make it up there and we get to hang out some.
Yeah.
We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen, bud.
Well, man, we appreciate it. We're going to let you go. Make sure you follow Craig, the BBQ Ninja. Royal Oak Charcoal, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. They've got a presence everywhere. If you haven't seen this man flame throw some chicken wings, definitely something to check out. Craig, we appreciate your time as always, man.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. You have a good one.
You too.
All right, man. Well, that is it for this episode of What's the Rub. A lot of good info there. It's always good having Craig on. We always appreciate it when he's got time to jump in and chit chat with us for sure.
Yeah, man. Classic, legend. And, the wings are one thing, but get that man on some gator rolls for you, buddy. It'll change your life. So, and a jambalaya, I mean,
yeah,
just an outstanding cook and an even better guy and a true asset to anybody that's ever been able to call him a friend. So.
That's right. That's right. And if we get confirmation that he's going to make it down here to Indiana this year, we will be sure to let you all know so that you can try to come out and meet him in person. Definitely one of the coolest people in barbecue, without question.
Yeah, it'd be a one-of-a-kind experience for sure that you will not want to miss. Guarantee it.
That's right. So, that's it, man. That's What's the Rub today. So,
catch y'all next time.
Charles Gordon.
Dave White.
Great White Smoke. We appreciate all of you all. Be sure to like, follow, share anywhere you can. YouTube specifically, WTRPOD on YouTube. Check us out. Subscribe if you have not yet. That is the best way to get all the most up-to-date information on competition barbecue in general, backyard cooking, world food championships, anything that you want to know on a culinary standpoint. One-stop shop. See you guys next time.